Hey everyone, welcome to the video. Hope you are doing really good today. And yes, my background is a little bit different. For today, I am in a different place. But today, I want to talk to you about why you are always waiting. You might be waiting to feel better, waiting to recover, waiting to get motivated, or waiting to actually know what to do. And you might feel a little bit stuck, a little bit frustrated, a little bit scared. And in this video, I'm going to cover why this is happening to you and some other things that you can do. And for all of those who are subscribers, welcome back. And for all of those who are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Dan, and I help people get to recovery from their DPDR using coaching techniques. If you do want to get in touch with me, then you can book a free discovery call, and all the links are down below. So probably one of the biggest things that you're going through right now is you're waiting for motivation. And you're sort of thinking, well, I feel really bad. I don't really know what to do. So I just feel down. I just feel like I have no energy, and I just want to be able to get motivated so I can actually do something. And often when you do get motivation as well, it might only last maybe a week or a couple of weeks. And then whatever you've tried supposedly hasn't worked, or you haven't given it long enough, other things come up, you have a setback, all these things happen, and then you're back left at square one again. So this one is really easy to fix, at least in theory and also in practice. And I know because I've done it myself as well. But what you need to do, it's all about pleasure and pain, okay? So really motivation is about goal setting. How motivated are you to achieve your goal? So in other words, how clear are you on your actual goal? Is it a measurable goal? Is it an attainable goal? Is it a goal that you can actually reach? Do you actually know what the goal is? For example, if the goal is, well, I want to recover, so like, well, okay, I get it. That's like a cool goal to sort of have overall. But how do you reverse engineer that? How do you get back to this state of, well, this is where I want to be in terms of recovery. This is where I am right now. How do I actually get there? And probably right now, you don't actually have anything that's there. You don't really have any steps. You don't have a plan or anything like that. But really, let's get back to the goal. It's about the pleasure and the pain. So it's about the pain of not achieving it versus the pleasure of achieving it. And this is a really simple way of really keeping that motivation there. Because motivation is a finite resource. You can't just rely on yourself to just feel motivated. Because what happens when you don't feel motivated? Think about all the people that go to work and they have a job, their own business or whatever, and they've got to get up at 5 to do 2 hours of work before they head off and do something else. They're not really sitting there every single day going, oh yeah, I'm so grateful and thankful I can get up at 5 and I can do this. They're just like, look, if I want to get this done, I've got to get up at 5 and do it. And so it's the same for you as well. Like this pleasure and pain thing, if you're thinking of the pleasure of achieving it versus the pain of not achieving it, this is really going to help. And then also, what you can do is realize that if you wait to feel motivated, you're going to be waiting forever. It's like if an artist is waiting to be creative, before they actually are creative, then you can wait forever. And I know this from personal experience because the very first job I had was doing film music. So as a job, so I know that you can't just sit around and wait for inspiration. You've got to just start working. That's the first thing that you can do. Just start. It doesn't matter what you feel like, doesn't matter whether you feel like doing it or not. You just have to start, and you have to think about the pleasure and the pain of not starting it versus the pleasure of actually doing it. And so now you might be wondering, well, what do I actually start? And that's a really interesting thing, and it really depends upon where you are in your recovery journey right now. Are you halfway through? Are you just beginning? Is this the first video you've watched? And recovery is really such not a complex thing, but it's something that you can't just explain in one single video. There's lots of things you need to look at, like what things do you believe about yourself which are holding you back right now? When you have intrusive thoughts or racing thoughts, do you even recognize that you're having them, or do you just seem to follow them and say, yeah, I have all these racing thoughts and I I wonder about this and wonder about that, and then in the end, I'm so paralyzed that I just can't even leave the house. And so, if you are just starting out in your recovery journey, then something I can recommend to you is to recognize when you are having these kind of rumination, intrusive thoughts. Because the thing with thoughts is that they might not be true, and pretty much most of the time they're not true, but we make them true. We think about them and we actually make them true. Now, if you're going through your mind racing of, like, I'm never going to recover, this is awful, I hate this, I just want this gone, if that's just going through your mind again and again and again, then of course you're going to believe it. And so, you'd sort of like, perhaps step one would be to catch yourself when you're having these thoughts. Oh, that's right, I'm having these racing thoughts right now. I can choose if I want to believe them, or I can just label them as racing thoughts and, sort of move on with my day. And there's an interesting expression, which I do think Tony Robbins actually coined the phrase, where he said, motion creates emotion. So in other words, if you start doing stuff, you're going to start feeling stuff. And if you start doing positive stuff, then you're going to start feeling positive stuff. And so that's what I mean about forcing yourself to do these things, even if you don't want to do it. When you start to actually do these things, then you start to create your own motivation, and then you're able to keep going until in the end, all this motivation is just created by yourself, which is a really, really tremendous form of it. And you're like an unstoppable truck at the moment. Think of a massive semi-trailer truck, and I don't even know what weight they are, let's just say 10 tons. And right at the beginning, it's really hard to get moving. You got to go through all the gears, and you're only at 20 kilometers an hour, and you're already in fifth gear of 12 gears, or however many gears that they have. But once you get going, once you're on that freeway, you've got that direction, where you're going, which is your goal, then pretty much you're unstoppable. And it's the same with this stuff. Like, it all feels so tricky at the beginning, but just once you get going and once you get that momentum, and all of this sort of more proactive stuff is becoming the norm for you now, then you really are going to be unstoppable, and you 100% are going to be able to recover. And when you have recovered, guess what? You're still that semi-trailer blazing through, getting whatever it is that you want, because of all the tools and everything that you've learned along the way about yourself. So my friends, I really hope that you have found this useful, and until next time, I will see you all in the next video. Bye.